comfort zone because we know how much I love speaking live, and my thank yous at recital. Hi, thank you for coming in. Oh, bye. Oh, I'm getting better. Slow down a little bit. So, but our conversation, so this is just a conversation like we have anytime at midnight when we're leaving the studio at 7:30.
Super late.
And then it's 8:30. And then it's, oh crap, I have to make dinner.
Yeah.
And then it's
I feel bad.
midnight. No, it's fine.
I'm just like, oh shoot,
But we talk about good stuff. So.
Yeah.
Oh, and I was going to say, this is why I love talking to you, because no one listens in the world ever, including myself. So I'm learning from you and trying to be a better listener. But my friend Lisa, tonight I was just talking to her, and we FaceTime all the time. And she'll say, where are you going? And I said, well, my friend Vitana, I'm going to do this podcast, and oh, you know what I'm going to do later? And she just jumps in and cuts me all the time, cuts me off. And I say, wait, I was in the middle of the tonsil. She's like, but I have to just finish my thoughts or I can't do it. And so that's, that's what I deal with all the time. And I do that too. So it's just so nice that you just listen. And when you ask me questions, I'm like, I never really thought about that before. I just don't. So you want to talk about career, health,
I think so.
Parenting, that would be a funny one.
Yeah, all that.
Because I love making you laugh with my stories.
Yes.
All right, what should we start with?
I'd say I guess we'll start with if you can somehow mix career and school a little bit.
Okay.
Like what it was like for you, and then kind of just going through what you went through.
Okay.
And then just your opinion of certain stuff.
Okay.
So, and I do have, I'll make sure he's still here. My cousin here who is having a dilemma. But it's
self-help with Joe. Oh no.
It's more of, so for me it's like,
do as I say, not as I do.
it's like I try to expose people to perspective, and hearing it from different people is really important. Because it could be a bunch of 20-year-olds being like, yeah, we did this, but then it's like when it's someone in different age ranges, different genders, or different accomplishments or different viewpoints.
Yeah.
So all of that really plays a big role. And so if for someone like him, who all the adults that look like what he's used to seeing, or how he expects an adult to be,
degree,
then it's just
money,
and then it's defeat, it defeats you, if that's all you're around. And so I know it was refreshing for me, especially in my earlier years. I used to have a lot of discussions with Jess, your sister, and I would bring those discussions home, and then my mom would get a little weird about it. Yeah, but I'm like, oh, she's giving me something that my mom is unable to provide. I'm not gonna hold that over my mom. It's just different paths, different backgrounds and stuff. But it helped a lot for me.
So my sister and I, as far as do you find it crazy how we both have successful dance studios, and we stumbled? I don't want to say we stumbled upon it. It was a dream of hers.
Okay.
I think, but it's funny. So last night I'm at a party, which is why I'm a little tired. This has just been a lot of fun in my life lately. So last night I'm at a party, and we were talking about career. And, oh, what do you do, Joanne? And, oh, that's so fun. She says, you must have just loved dancing. You must have danced your whole life and loved it.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't ever remember loving it, ever. No.
Oh.
So growing up, you had a choice. Either you were in sports. I mean, well, growing up, it was a gift if you were lucky if you had a sport or a dance or something, because a lot of kids would watch soap operas after school, and I used to feel so bad for them. No lie, they would say, did you watch General Hospital? And I'd be like, what's General Hospital? Because I was at the studio from 3 to 9 Monday through Friday pretty much. So it was just what we did. I didn't beg my mom to dance. I mean, she put me in dance because I was painfully shy, and I used to hide behind her leg. So I was forced to dance. That's how I started dancing. At 4 years old, I was forced. Oh, and I'd cry and I'd cry. And then when I was about 9, 10, it was just what I did. I made up dances. We played records and made up, that was our life. We danced. So I used to teach dance at 9 years old to my stuffed animals, to my sister, to my neighbors, to anybody. We'd put on shows, and that's just, so we didn't have options. We didn't have choices. When we didn't like it, we didn't have a choice. You know, my mom worked hard to pay for the costumes, pay for the dance. So we just did it. So then let's fast forward to career-wise, okay? It was just all I knew, and it was all I did. I mean, I did cheerleading, and I don't know if I did anything else. Did I? No, just dance. So we weren't exposed. Like nowadays, kids, I mean, they're just so over-scheduled, right? Yeah. And if they don't like it, oh, we're going to try something else. And then if they don't like that, they're going to try something else. They're going to come back to dance. And so they never really develop that team building, the belonging, or commitment. I mean, they just don't. So they don't really get their thing. I mean, some do, of course. Yeah. But so for us, it was just our thing. So now picture after high school, I mean, I did all my jobs and I worked, and I didn't really want to do dance as a career. And Jessie did. And so when the opportunity came up and she wanted to open the studio, and I don't even remember, I was just traveling and doing, I don't even know what I was doing, the boyfriend thing in college and everything. I was into fitness. So, yeah. Personal training and group, you know, I was directing health clubs. And so I said, hell no. I don't want to open a dance studio. I don't want to see dance. I don't want to teach. I don't want to do anything. So I took about a 2-year break, and she was doing her thing, and that was kind of a blur for me, but I was having fun. And so she needed help. She was like, can you just help me out? Can you just teach this one class? Or she needed a sub. And I could be totally wrong how that happened, but she definitely needed help. Oh, I know what I was doing. I was getting married and having babies. It was around, that's what I was doing. Okay. No, that's a lie, because it was 10 years before I opened my studio when I was getting married, having babies. So, so what's, she's like 25 years in. So whenever that was, I went and I subbed a class, and I remember like Marie Benugli and that whole generation where they were so little. And I freaking loved it. And I missed teaching so much that she was like, really? You liked it? Do you want to teach some more? And so I did. I was teaching, and I was there for 9 years, but it was a lot different than owning a studio. I knew nothing about owning a studio. I didn't even know what she charged for tuition. You know, I got to pick my classes. I'd say, I want these kids in my class. I'm doing this. You know, we're wearing that. And so I got to boss my little sister around. So I loved it, loved it, loved it. So 9 years of that. Fast forward, now I'm getting married. I had one baby. Had one baby on the way. And the opportunity, there was a vacant dance studio on Stedman Street. And my husband for 2 years would say, will you go look at this? Will you go look at this? And I'm like, we fought. I'm like, I'm not opening a dance studio. What's wrong with you? I loved my few hours, you know, a couple hours a week teaching. And then I liked doing, bartending. I had so many jobs, but I just liked to spread it out. I didn't like to do too much of anything. And just, I liked freedom. At any point, we could go away. We could do this. We didn't have any responsibility. You know? So then it all happened. It was a good idea. And so to say, did you dream of having a studio, and, you know, how did you become successful? I have no idea. I mean, I'm being honest. I have no idea, but I always had confidence. And I said, well, all right, if I'm going to do this, I wanted to gear it towards the adult classes too, and the fitness, because I like to connect with the adults. And then kids, I'm like, no, I love kids, but I really liked kids now. Now I liked the babies. I liked the kids. There was a period that I did not like kids. Ask Jessie. She'll chime in. I'm like, I'm not teaching freaking babies. And now they're my favorite. It's just funny. When I tell them, like, oh, I'm teaching the baby class, they're like, get out. But I'm like, no, I really like them now. So it was amazing. We had an open house, and it was a line around the building. And so I just, at that phase of my life too, I was into yoga, and I was just aware of my blessings, which I never was in my whole life. So a lot happened in 2005. Babies, studio, that was my awakening birthday. Yeah, we talked about that. So yeah, then there's a lot of spiritual crap that's connected to that, and that's for another story. So we opened, we were just going. I learned what I didn't know what to do, but I learned what I didn't want to do. You know, not in a negative way, but I just I didn't like all the rules, and so I started out with very few rules, and it was very carefree. But then you realize once you grow, and then you have these students that are so talented. So then we had to, you know, when you get bigger, you need to include the rules, have a little bit of structure, a little bit of rules, and just levels and all that. And so it was just cool. So 14, this will be my 14th recital, 15 years later. I love what I do because my attitude is it's not work, you know? So, you know what I think is so funny? In 2005, when we opened the studio, we just had to like paint, and I was 5 weeks. In 5 weeks, I was going to have a baby. We turned the key, and then I had a 2-year-old, and in 5 weeks, Isaac was going to be born. So I bought the studio 5 weeks. So I'm sure there was a lot of stress, which that's the whole health thing later. But it was a lot going on, but it had to be done, right? But what I think is so interesting, and I was thinking about this today, I was reading from yoga, I was reading a lot about Buddha and Gandhi, and like my favorite saying is, be the change you want to be for the world, you know? And that's painted in my lobby, like those sayings that are painted on the studio since 2005. And I think that's so weird because I've gone in and out of the whole, you know, spirituality of it. Like I'm so focused, and then life takes you away, and then you go on the crazy train, and then you go back in, and you're like, where's my zen, and then but I thought that was interesting since 2005. That's a lot, you know, because then, you know, gosh, now I have a 16 and almost 16 and a 14-year-old, and so I am the change I wanted to see. And my career is fun, and it's I don't want to say easy because then I don't want to, but I think for kids these days, okay, and this is what I tell my own kids, you have these teenagers with all this pressure, and where are you going to go to school, and what do you want to be? I mean, we still ask my daughter, like, what do you think you want to be? Like, what do you think you want to do? Do you have a clue? She's like, I don't know. Sorry, Ivana, if you're listening, but sometimes you're a little grumpy to me. She's like, I'm not going to watch you. It's so stupid. Why are you doing a podcast? Yeah, thanks, honey. I love you, too. But for the 20-year-olds and your cousin, you just have to, I mean, it's hard to say for kids, right? But there's so much craziness in the world. But you have to find what makes you happy. And you have to learn that if something makes you so miserable, you have to act. You can't talk about it. So many kids and adults talk and talk and talk, and that's just, I think it drives me so crazy because it doesn't work. I've tried that, and then even for you as a kid or an adult, how's that working out for you? Like when people are always just like, when this happens, I'm going to do this, and someday I'm going to do this, and da 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 da, or not even the someday, but I'm gonna, and I'm like, when? Or stop talking about it. Just do it. Why do you have to talk about it? You know, and I think I know that because I used to do that. Who didn't? Who doesn't? Right? I mean, I still do it a little bit, but I catch myself, and it drives me crazy. So I think what drives me crazy in other people are the things that drive me to do better because I notice them about myself. You know, so I guess I probably didn't answer your question too well about career, but
no,
I know you're my career, like you asked me to speak at your conventions and everything, and I'm nervous. I'm like, I don't really have a good story because mine's just like a free spirit. It just happened. And so back in the day, there were 2 dance studios growing up for me. It was Debbie Hanley's and Donna Maselli's. We were Tewksbury, and we were Tewksbury. So you had just Donna Maselli and Tewksbury that I know of when I was a kid. So sorry if there's somebody out there that I'm not recognizing. But we went to the South Wilmington. Debbie was on the Wilmington Tewksbury line. So now fast forward, and in 2005, I mean, you can throw a rock, and there's probably 15 dance studios around me. You know, Jessie has a little bit more. I mean, she has a monopoly of Tewksbury, pretty much. But it's just, it's a different vibe.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different vibe. It's a vibe I love. And, we tell our students, be here if you want to be here. And we tell our parents, be here if you want to be here. And we tell our teachers, be here if you want to be here. So I think so for a student picking a career or a goal, and even for my own kids, I say, do it if you want to do it. And like even, we talked about the whole with my son that instead of fighting it, the social media, I'm just trying to embrace it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, if you're going to be, I'm going to see what this social media thing is all about too. I'm going to do a podcast. I'm going to do live videos.
Yeah.
Look out, friends. No, I won't do live videos. And I promise not to sell anything. I promise. I promise not to sell anything. Oh my gosh. But yeah. So I love what I do because, well, first of all, I get to walk into a studio with music and creativity and, fun, and kids that are there because they want to be there. So I love my life. I love my job. And then I do worry a lot because I'm always trying to inspire the kids and shove positivity, shove positivity down their face, and they probably hate me for it. And I know they do in the moment, and not so much hate me, but I know I'm annoying. But I don't care. I'm going to keep on being annoying, and I'll tell you why. Especially this holiday season, I must have run into 10 of my alumni, my past students, my past children, they're still my children. They'll always be 9 to me. Oh my gosh, so many of them I got to run into and spend a little bit of time with. And they still love me. They still love me. They like me. I don't care if they love me, but they like me. And that makes me so happy. And I always ask them, I said, has anything I said to you or taught you in the past, has it helped you in any way? And they don't even have to answer that, but I can just see the beautiful, confident, independent, strong, beautiful souls that they are. That's the reward right there. That's my reward.
I'm just going to cut in with random stuff, and then I do have something for you. Well, I don't know if Dante's still here, but he popped in and he said hello.
Oh, Dante from Jesse's?
Yeah.
Hi, Dante.
I miss dance 2 more days. Ashley, I keep forgetting that her sister's name is Jess as well, so I get confused. Jessie. Ashley thinks it's really interesting.
Who's Ashley again?
Her talks are always so interesting. Oh, Ashley, she's one of my students from Eloquence.
Oh.
They've
they're talking about Ashley.
It's funny because they've connected.
I got you.
So some kids from different studios are connecting. It's really cool. I love this. Yvonne is so funny. Haha, Jessie says. And then Alex popped in and said hello.
My Alex?
Yeah.
Did I say anything bad yet?
And then Julie.
We didn't get to parenting yet, did we?
We didn't. Julie
Look out, Alex.
I don't know if he's... there's a handful of people, 6 people watching. Julie Winslow said, you inspire my daughter, May. Bravo. And
I love her.
Kelly is here or was here and said hello. And Kelly Smith. Yes, those are the quick things. As a parent, what do you think about college and taking a semester off or even a year? So I was going to ask you that because you had said that you took... So I don't know if you caught it, but she was going through it quickly and she said she took 2 years off. So I was going to ask you in that... So what caused you to do that and what happened for you during that time? If you could talk
for
about
school?
that.
College?
Yeah. And then you can get into, as a parent, what do you think? So just what your experience was first.
Yeah, and that's just so individual for me to give advice for someone to say, take a semester off when their parents are just get it done, because so many parents just want their kids, even so many kids just want to get it done, because once you do take that time off, it's hard to go back. So my college experience. So I have an old school Italian family and 5 of us, so I'm the first girl.
Oh.
And I'm kind of afraid to tell the story, but I think it's important to know.
Okay.
So I've told you the story before. So my father, he's a little old school Italian. I'm sure you can't tell, I'm not Italian at all. But so when I wanted to go to school, I wanted to pursue a career in health sciences. Or I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I wanted a degree in health sciences. I wanted to be a physical therapist or... I have no idea. I probably wanted to be a doctor at the time, but I was going to shoot for physical therapy. Okay. And I'm like, Dad, I'm going to just go to Middlesex, because I was teaching right out of high school. I didn't even think about college till 4 years. So I was teaching full-time, working right out of high school. Okay. So I was still living at home, and I wanted to go to college. And so I'm like, will you guys help me out? And I really don't even think I needed them to help me out, I could be wrong. So, but just with the decision, my father was so angry at me. Why would you want to go to college and waste your money? That's just how it was, you know? And I'm like, Dad, because I want to. So I needed to borrow a little bit of money up front, and I was going to pay him back. And we got into a nose-to-nose screaming argument because he just thought it was so ridiculous. And I think, well, you're so ridiculous. This is something I want to do to better myself. And nose-to-nose screaming. And his words were, why would you do that? You're going to wind up barefoot and pregnant anyways. Like saying my role as a woman is to be a wife and a mother. Because that's his generation.
I see. Okay.
So I loved that because it's just, I was like, I don't have any of that in my body. I didn't have any of that in my body.
Yeah.
So I went, so now I pursued it. I was paying, and so it's different when you pay. So it's different when you're a few years out of high school, you're an older student, and you're paying yourself. So I was like so gung-ho for the first year. That anatomy and physiology, AP1, AP2, I took all the accelerated classes during the summer. Like I drank that information in. So I knew that's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
So then I don't know what happened. I was kind of going on that path. So I was trying to finish my associate's degree to transfer to UMass Lowell for the PT program.
Okay.
And then so I took the associate's 2-year degree in 4 years. It's just what I did. I was paying for it myself, and I was working. I was just taking classes when I could. Okay? I didn't think there was anything wrong with that, right? But then when I thought about, that's when I was teaching for Jess.
Yeah.
And when I thought about actually going to school for physical therapy and to bend sick people's knees or broken knees, like, you know what I mean, to rehabilitate somebody who's injured, that was going to be my physical job for the rest of my life. I was like, what am I doing? I have all this talent. I want to create and I want to do that. So I didn't pursue that. So that's where I was. Okay. So I stopped with that. I didn't do anything with my degree, or didn't need to, because then I was doing personal training, my yoga certification, my AFA certification, my group fitness leader skills, all that. So I wanted to do so many different certifications, like just so many different skills or different jobs. A college degree wasn't important to me at that time. So I was teaching, I was doing what I love. I was the step aerobics queen. So I loved that. That's what I did. I ran health clubs and did nutritional counseling, did personal training. So that's why I did all the adult classes too. I loved the fitness part of it. So that's why when I did the studio, it just all worked for me. It was the dance and fitness.
I see.
And I still love it. Yeah. So my advice, you just have to follow your passion. I don't know what to tell my own kids. Because no, at the end of the day, the most important thing is to learn how to make yourself happy, because no one else is going to do it for you. And let that shit go.
So I agree hardcore with all of that. Wait, is this wrong? Joanna? What? Probably spelled this. Oh, it's Joanne, my cousin. I told her to watch too, because she needs it. Hopefully you got all that. Okay, so you took, did you take a break and then not?
Well, I was just kind of going in and out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And just, doing all that stuff. Okay.
Yeah. So I would take, I think I would take 3 classes a semester. Yeah. I did always take a class a semester. Okay. So I probably did one time 1 class. And then, but I just spread it out in 4 years. So no, I definitely probably took a break in there. I can't remember. That was so long ago.
Okay.
I remember it. I did take maybe a year or 2 back, because I had to dig up, and I had to go back to administration and say, can I still continue? And I did. So I probably took a good 1.5 years off.
Okay. So behind all of that, what I'm curious about, so hopefully that answered on some level. We didn't get to the parent part. As a parent, what do you think about college? Okay, we'll get to that.
Yeah, as a parent, I had such a different...
Yeah.
I'm really...
I guess, I don't know, so I get the landscape today, I guess.
Today, if I were to have new babies tomorrow, they would be homeschooled. We'd be living off the grid somewhere.
I agree.
I promise you that.
So okay, so he said, what did you learn from the 2 years or the year and a half that you
took a break?
They took a break, and did you have a plan taking those 2 years off from college?
I never had a plan. Nope. I just lived by the seat of my pants. I just had so many job opportunities, though. I just worked. I worked, and I was everything I did, I loved. Everything I did, I loved. So I just think, so what people struggle in, I just feel like it's more of an inner issue than an opportunity issue.
Yeah.
Because I went after opportunities, and if that didn't work, I went to a different one. Yeah. You know, I just kind of kept moving and going until at one point, I probably had 10 jobs at the same time because I loved them all, and then had to say, okay, let's back off. So financially, money was never an issue. Yeah. I remember, I told you I used to save. Yeah. Oh, I used to make bank because I loved working, and it was never considered work for me. Yeah. And I was getting paid. Yeah. Like bartending, it's not like I was slinging beers at a bar. I was doing weddings. I was doing functions, and I worked Fridays, doubles on Saturdays and Sundays, some weekends. I did that for 15 years. I bartended. And I did that because I like to socialize with people. It's not that, I need the money, I need to pay my rent, I just did it because I got to get out of the house and socialize. It kept me from spending money. You know, I was 20s, and was that my 30s? No, before my 30s. So that was all my 20s. Yeah. I did that from 16 to 30.
Two things, one bigger than the other. Where do you think, or know, the confidence and the drive and the attitude, where did that come from? Because all the stuff you're talking about requires that. Yeah. And so, because even for me speaking, I gain more confidence the more I achieve and the more I try. And,
right.
That's the only way. That's but where?
Okay. So good question, because especially coming from a painfully shy, when my mom talks about me, she's so annoyed. Okay. She's just like, you were the worst. You drove me crazy. You hung on my leg. You see those kids, now they call them selective mute, maybe. It just seems similar to how I was. I just didn't want to say hi. I was shy. I would just hide and do this. She would say, just, Joanne, say hi. And I'd be hiding behind her leg. Yeah. So then being forced to dance, basically. Yeah. My confidence, and I say this because I experienced this, my confidence grew from dance. Okay. I mean, I couldn't do this, but then now I can do this. And then, I worked really hard. I didn't love it, but I still worked hard because I wanted to get into the older girls class, and I wanted to get into that kick line. So that was really important. So my drive, I learned how to drive myself at dance. I'm sure I went home crying about, so-and-so pushed me, she pulled my hair. There was so much drama, bratty drama, and I joke about it. I tell my students about it all the time. Yeah. And I tell them all the time, I was that brat. Yeah. I was that brat in class. I'd be like, oh, I'm younger than you, and I'm in your class. Oh, I used to say that. Nowadays, that'd be called bullying, right? Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I said worse things too, but it was pretty tame back then. Yeah. But yeah, me and my friends, we laugh because I'm still in touch with my good friends from dance. Yeah. Kim Marie. She may be on there. So yeah, we were driven because it was a little cutthroat back in the day, you know. I mean, funny story. If she gave you a correction, my instructor, she gave you a correction, and you were talking and you didn't pay attention, and then you didn't fix what she told you, and if she lost her patience, there would be records flying across the floor. For real. And we laugh about it now. We laugh, and we still, oh my gosh. But we value that. That was, that ain't going to drive you. I don't know what will. Yeah. So I just think generation-wise, dance gave me the confidence because I achieved my goals, or I was driven to achieve the next level. So it wasn't an option to quit. We did it. Always. We didn't have a choice. It was our thing. We did it. And we didn't want to disappoint the director, and we didn't want to disappoint our parents. I don't ever think I didn't like dancing, but it was my thing, right? Yeah. Had you asked me that when I was 16 years old, where'd you get your confidence? I didn't know I had confidence then. Yeah. And then you're dating. Okay, and this is my favorite subject too, because with my I have so many female students, and and I always tell them, you don't realize it now, but you possess so many qualities that you don't even know you have.
Yeah.
Okay? So your posture, your athleticism, your talent, your creativity, but aside from all that, your self-esteem and confidence. And those things are going to come in handy when you need them in the whole dating world. And I just know from experience, like my nickname, my mom would be like, when I was dating someone, she'd be like, look out, she's a bitch. And I value that. You know, that bitch meant look out. You can't tell her what to do, or she's going to put you in your place if you try to cross that. So back in the day, bitch meant confidence. Look out, she has confidence. So I think, it's hard to tell the girls who are insecure and like, thinking about, everybody wants attention, right? That didn't change from 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay? Everyone still wants attention, but you're going to be able to use what you don't even know you have later in some ways. Well, that's what I hope anyways. Like I tell them that. Like you with, just believe in yourself and don't take shit from anyone, So just believe in yourself. And I just think that's important too. So the drive, the confidence had to come from dance because I did nothing else.
Yeah.
I did nothing else.
Okay. That was my guess.
Yeah.
Everyone.
And that's why I value that. Yeah. And when, so for teaching, and it's hard. I do notice it's hard these days because the kids are, you got to convince them some days to dance. And I'm like, what? What's the matter with you? And I get it. I mean, who's going to just wake up and like, oh yes, I want to go sweat my butt off and work out and be told what to do. But it's different. Like it's a sport. It's your thing. It's what you do. So just do it well.
Yeah.
Don't second guess yourself. And I'm just saying this to the older girls, like my seniors, Like I text them, hello. Oh, we're not going to text or tell me we're not coming today. Like, okay, yeah. And just fall off the back of a turnip truck. Yeah. But so they all do it, but they'll miss it when it's gone. And I just say, whether it's dance or whatever your sport is, and if it's school, find the happiness in it. Just commit and follow through. So.
You can keep going. I just have to.
Yeah, that's career.
I'm gonna get to this before I jump into the other one. What you learned for 2 years. That's basically what I'm doing now. I'm taking a break from school and going forward, getting certified, licensed, and other things I don't need school for. Sorry, I'm a little dyslexic. LOL.
No, that's good. Follow those other passions too, and then you'll always come back to it.
Yes. Confidence is something I need to work on
Just
a lot.
Don't tell your mama.
Ashley.
Joanne said so.
Sorry, but I've got to go because school. Jesse, bouncing.
Oh, I'll see you tomorrow.
Everyone's working on confidence.
Good.
And
just meditation, like a little... kids love yoga and meditation and the oils. Like everyone's diffusing oils these days. So like sometimes like I actually put on Stress Away. Away? Yeah, I'm just like, right? So I'm like, I'm going to be around Vatana. I got to find my zen, chill out.
You don't have to do that.
I know. But my energy's here and you're like, hey, it's But no, I think, just wake up and say, today's going to be a good day. As corny as it sounds, make that shit happen. Put a sign on your mirror. Make that shit happen.
No, that stuff really helps.
It does.
If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask, because I know you might have a lot. I was going to ask, I mean, you kind of covered it. I was going to like, okay, so you work a lot. So like, did you care about having a social life? But you said you kind of filled it with the stuff that you did.
Yeah,
Some people really
I know when you're like 20 to 25 or like that 20 to 30, like nowadays kids, like it's all about the social life because what are you going to post? What are you going to show? If you don't have anything to post, then it looks like you have no life. Like Gary Vee says, get out there and hustle. Don't worry about the social life. And we didn't worry about that then, I mean, we didn't have cell phones either, so it was like, hey, I'm going to meet you next Friday night. Are you going to be at that whatever? And so our social life was much less than it is today. And that's why the generation is so different. I mean, I really never thought about that until now, but you know, everyone's like waiting for that better offer and staging what they're doing instead of the grind.
Yeah.
And the grind, even if you're a 12-year-old kid, your grind should be, okay, I'm on the lacrosse team. I'm going to go, throw some whatever those are. But for a hockey player, you're on the hockey team, you go practice your stick handling, shoot some pucks. I don't know. It's a different generation. I sound like a dinosaur. I know. But I think it's the perspective is a little bit different, of course.
Yeah. Right?
But even for me, I like to hear other people say, don't worry about that, do that. Like it resets me. Just that, well, I'm on this hippie journey because I can, and I'm just going back to my roots. Yeah. I think in a past life, I'm going to freak a few people out right now, but I think in a past life, I've been told I was a gypsy, right? Gypsy medicine woman. Yeah. And I just don't know why I'm just so drawn to that lifestyle, right? Like free spirit and the universe, but I'm still doing my grind. I can't stop what I'm doing. Like I still love I decide to love my work. I decide to, love my routine, my housework. Like I don't complain much. I just don't. And so I do my hustle, but then I now have been making a lot of time to just kind of satisfy that other part of my soul, So, yeah.
Agreed.
So if I have dreadlocks next year, don't be surprised. Wouldn't that be awesome, right? I wouldn't have to wash this hair. Oh, heaven.
That'd be a sight to see, actually.
Right? So yeah, I have this inner hippie.
So we do have a few questions. So Megan asked, how did your dance studio get its name? And then we'll go down.
That's a funny one. So I had a hard time with that. I was like Studio J, Joanne's. I hate my name. I just don't like it. I mean, I know I was named after someone very special, but it's just, I don't know, it's only the name. But I don't know. I just wanted something fun and different because my vibe, it was supposed to be the best hip hop studio, adult classes, and high energy, not conformity. So I was just looking for something fun, and I can't remember now, but I had a few options, and I just kept going towards Planet. I don't know, I just kind of stuck. So, and I liked one of my former students, Courtney. She was helping me with the logo, and I wanted like a world, like a shooting star. I was just on that path, and so our first logo was pretty basic, but she did an awesome job. It was the world. Yeah. And it was in the green was the shape of a dancer doing the handstand, But yeah, so Planet Dance, but I wanted Planet Dance and Fitness. So we are Planet Dance and Fitness. We've always been, long before I ever heard of Planet Fitness. So Planet Dance and Fitness had its domain name since 2005.
That's good.
Or I think 2004, because when I was starting the process, because when she agreed to sell me the studio and all that, the studio was vacant. It was a dance studio before, but it was vacant for 3 or 4 years. So it was non-functioning. It was just an empty building. But when we were figuring out all that logistics, I had to Google and find the domain name and all that. So that's how I came up with the name. I liked it, Planet Dance. And I still love it. It's one of those things. I love our name. Yeah. And then now later at social media, when you hashtag Planet Dance, I didn't know there's like 5 others in the United States, but different states, they have it. So that's cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Eventually, I'd love to make it Planet Wellness, but that's a dream.
So my cousin, this is the consistent college and pressure stuff. So he had said, how do you deal with the pressure from your parents, aunts, and etc., especially pushing and rushing college? Or how did you? Because I literally told my aunt I'm taking a semester off just to take a break and understand myself. And then another one of my aunts one of my other aunts flew down right away to talk to me about school and how I should take classes at least. So did you went because you wanted to, correct? Okay,
I had to fight too.
So that was different. So
totally different.
So going, but you're still going against.
Oh yeah.
So that's where the similarity is. So for her, she was pro college for her because she knew what she wanted, which I always talk to you about. Like always, it's about what you want. And so like if she saw that for something that she wanted, but then there was friction because was it mainly your dad or just your dad or?
It was I would say it was mainly my dad because everybody else was like, let her do what she wants.
Okay.
You know.
So there's still friction there. So then it would be more like. Well, so that's why like I was interested in like the confidence thing, and I mean there are plenty of students who like will take dance their whole life, and they mature after like a little bit of college. I always see that shift. It's different for everybody, and then you're also older than them, so they have even more time to kind of become that person. But just from like being at your age at the time, I feel like the growth was like crazy, and so. Being able to have the skin to just, and again, there's so many variables, right? So that's completely different because like a lot of kids just in general, just lack of self-esteem, confidence, the
but
ability
environment
to execute
is key too.
Yeah.
So a variable would be environment. So when I was 20, now I'm one of 5 siblings.
Yeah.
So what was happening in my family? I'm trying to think of the order, but everybody was getting married and having kids, so doing the, what do you call it? Like
just being different.
The Brady Bunch, like not the Brady Bunch, but the family life. They were just no college. They were just, careers or jobs and doing either having kids first and then marriage, which most did, or just, getting married and having kids. And so they just started their family life. And it all worked out great for them. That's just what it was doing. So during that time that we're talking about, I was like, like heels, how many times did I say, I don't ever want to get married. I don't ever want kids. Like to me at the time, there was so much opportunity for learning in life. And I shouldn't say learning in life. I was just having fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. So the nature of the person is different. The environment. So I was trying to run away from that. I didn't want a serious boyfriend. I didn't want to be next. And I wanted to try as many things before that day came. So, so I had a lot of zest for different things.
Okay.
So anything I read, I wanted to do that. Anything I learned about, anything I saw on TV, I'm like, I want to do that. And I pretty much to this day, anything that I do come across, I say, I can do that. Why don't I do that? Like, and I want to do that. Like, I told you I want to open a juice bar. I want a raw food restaurant. I want to do everything that I like. And I know that I can't do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that I wouldn't want to have my hands in that many things.
Yeah.
But I love learning about it. So that's a different. So my environment was different, and that's why I had something to run in a different direction too. But I don't even know what to tell my own kids except like yoga and meditation, or just how like as when I was a kid, surround yourself by the right people. Well, there wasn't that much variety. Nowadays with the internet, okay, you can surround yourself by the right influences, right? Influencers. And that's so cool. Like, I feel like I'm lucky. I slid by the skin of my teeth. How did I get so lucky that I do what I love? And I was so fortunate to have so many job opportunities and, learn and grow. And I'm still learning and growing, but we didn't have that. And now, even at my age, now I discovered that whole world. And now I'm like, oh yeah, I like belong to all these groups and I learn from them. And it's just fun. Like-minded people. There's so many of them. They're out there. So I think kids today, and you mentioned this, when you asked me about Isaac, like who does he listen to? That's important. Really, if someone were to ask you if you're, hey, I'm going to give you a free scholarship to this college or this whatever, list your 5 top influencers. And if it mattered who you were influenced by, that might make a difference, So maybe kids today should figure out who's good for them, who's good for their direction. And it shouldn't be all about that, because of course not. But follow positive leads.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
You know, that's cool.
Okay.
I want to live off the grid, but I'm telling people to follow.
It's because of what they want. Just wondering, do you have any tips on getting back to dance from a pretty bad injury? What are some tips about going back confidence-wise? So I'll give a little more background for her. She's one of those kids that always breaks herself. Mm-hmm. Is that true? No. So like, you know that one kid that's like, I have messed up, whatever.
Yeah, they're excited about it.
Not excited about it, but so she had surgery a few times on like a singular part of her body, and she always comes, like, she wants to dance. She loves it, and she's whatever, she gives a lot. And then this time around, she had actually asked me, she was like, hey, like, should I still come to class, you know, because I could still learn even though I pretty much can't move, or like, should I not, or like, and then I was like, you know what, since this is not the first time, and she had gone through a few surgeries already, and at this point I have an opinion on surgeries. So I was like, this is what I think you should do, honestly. I'm like, you want to do this for a long time, right? Like, you love dance. And she's like, yes. I was like, okay, so we're gonna focus on healing. However, I think you should start educating yourself, because the tools are out there. If you're gonna do anything right, and you're gonna do this for a long time, you need to figure out why this is happening, not just accepting like, oh, I'm just busted and this is how it is.
And I was gonna say, nutritionally, why do you keep, you know? So part of the learning process could be, you know, because again, my opinion too is if you keep going to the doctor, they're gonna keep masking the pain, and certain doctors. But if you want to find out what's happening, why, because I know some kids, like, they might have a nutrient deficiency. And you know, maybe her diet's not the greatest, you know, maybe she's not getting enough nutrients, and but learning about, you know, take care of your body as a whole, and then, okay, why is it the same part of my leg, or you know, her posture, or how is she sitting, how, you know, are you doing enough stretching to support the muscles around the bone? Like, there's so much.
There's a lot.
Yeah, so even if she loves being in the atmosphere and wants to go, then yes. But if she can't dance for like a long period of time, like if she's going to be out for 3 months, I would say focus on that.
She's been out, so she was supposed to, you know, start like in the fall with everyone else. I believe she came through, if I recall correctly, like once or twice. And then she asked me, and then I was like, please do this if you really want to do this for a while, because she'll start just like, oh, I have to take time off because I have to do a surgery thing, or I got injured, and she comes in, and I'm just and it's constant, so it's like, and I feel bad because like she really enjoys taking classes and stuff. Honestly, I'm
12ish.
Are you like 14 or 12? Because I never know. I always like, I'm like, you're all 12, right? Like, no, I'm 14 now. No, we're 15. I'm like, okay.
Oh my gosh.
But she's grown a lot from doing the self-study and like the questions.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to say, because sometimes the kids just have a physical growth, a rapid physical growth. Okay.
Like, once I started to give her information, she really started digging in. She's like, and that goes for like a handful of my students who really put in the work.
Well, I'm not a doctor. I just play one on TV.
So then I guess answering tips on getting back into dance from pretty bad injury, and then going back confidence-wise. If you have anything.
Well, I mean, confidence is going to grow if you learn about your body too, and you know, instead of coming back and being like, I don't know what's wrong with me and I'm hurt again, then you have no idea and you have no confidence. But if you say like, you know what, I feel mentally stronger and physically stronger, then obviously the confidence is going to grow a little bit there too. I mean, it's going to be hard. I mean, I feel bad when kids, you know, it's just what is happening right now, and you have to accept it. You know, you don't want to beat yourself up about it, but take that time and use it wisely if you can. But confidence-wise, no, girl, go get it. Go get it, girl.
Cousin says.
Confidence-wise, I mean, pretend the world is a selfie stick, right?
Yeah. There's so many methods. I've written about it. I'm going to write something else about confidence, because confidence is like a reoccurring, like, how do I build confidence? And I think that there are certain types of things that foster qualities that create strong, unpenetrable, I don't even know what I'm saying, confidence that can't be penetrated. I feel like some DNA is always going to be a part of it, environment, and then everything else is like what I do, and this is just like sidetracking, is I've reverse engineered myself because I've never not had confidence. That's not true. For as long as I remember, I've been confident in a lot of things I do, and I've been confident in sucking. So that all that kind of stuff helps, and then looking up to people who are confident.
Like when you know you suck at something?
Yeah, that helps because it's like I'm not good at anything.
Oh yeah.
But I'm totally cool with screwing up, and then eventually I'll get to that place. So it's like there's confidence along kind of like the whole way.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because when you said, "Oh, we're going to talk about parenting," I'm like, "Oh, I'm sucking in 2019, big time."
I mean, it just started, so
yeah.
It just started.
Well,
you're okay. We're only 6 days in.
I suck. I'm confident about that.
Okay. Oh, that was a lot. Cousin, college one. What do you think about this advice? The high-paying job you go for in college is what's going to support what you love to do. That's advice that he got. What is your opinion on that?
The high-paying job you get from your college degree?
Yes, because he's dealing with people who are pro-college. Biased.
No, I mean it's just that's what you're getting into. I mean, unless you're going to school for a degree that's something you're going to love, then that high-paying job is going to be something you love, right? Hopefully that's the degree you want to go for. So if you're saying that high-paying job that you get from your degree is going to support your life, do I support that? Well, if you're going to like that, yes. Yeah, because that's what you're going for. That's where I have an issue with, I couldn't pick, for me, I couldn't pick one degree and conform to one job for the rest of my life. And that's why I feel so bad. I don't know that's a tough decision for kids these days.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's like medical and like chiropractic, that's my dream, you know. But there's so much you can do. But you have to get that big degree to have more flexibility, I think. You know, but nursing, like that's, I don't know anything else. Engineer, like this. If you love that, there's so many things you can do with it. I'm just so far removed from the college scene, and I need to pay attention because I'm going to be there in 2 years. I know these kids. There's a lot of pressure, but I think if you like yourself and get to know yourself during those high school years and before you have to make those decisions, the decision will just be that much easier.
Yeah, I think that's the...
You know, you're always going to have the struggles. I mean, you still have struggles when you're confident, too. You're gonna,
It's a different kind.
And, like, struggling, when people talk about stress, like, I'm stressed. Well, if you have no stress, you have no life. You know, if you have no challenge, you don't learn. You don't... So that's why I always say, just do it. Stop talking about it. Get your head out of it. You know? Don't give it too much thought. Don't give it too much negative energy. Try to find the positive spin on it, and then go with it. I don't know. Am I just kind of... I feel like that's so easy for me, but I did the work. I have a library of books. I did the self-study. I did the meditation, the yoga. It's easy. So I feel like, that's why I try to, I'm sneaking in meditation and yoga, and the kids love it too. I mean, my own kids won't do it, but I'm just going to keep saying it till I'm blue in the face. Like, that's why I love my students. They listen to me. My own kids don't. But they have to learn when it's their time, and I get that. And same with some of my students. They could be like in one ear out the other. That's okay. I'm just teaching what I know. I'm sharing. I'm just trying to make their life experiences a little bit easier, or help just share what made my life easier too. And that's part of the confidence. It's part of the, the self-help that you're going to be seeking later. Sneak it in now. Sneak it in now. Because you're always going to want to fix yourself and better yourself. But that's just learning, and that's just life. So don't think there's anything wrong with you. That's why freaking resolutions drives me so crazy. What is wrong with you people? Like, a resolution. Really?
Yeah.
Like, you're broken. You got to fix it. You got to... Like Lisa, my friend, she's doing a 30-day diet.
Is it Lisa
Querbeck? Yeah. What'd she say? What'd she say?
Hello, Joe. I don't know when that was.
Okay.
But we do have some friends.
I love her. So I talk about her because we just talk all day long, and we're in each other's lives because we tell each other what we don't want to hear. We do that. And we drive each other crazy, but we have fun. And so when we're hanging out and she'll whine to me, or if I whine to her, when she's whining, I'll be like, okay, you're not being fun right now. Bye-bye. I literally say, call me later. True story. But what were we just talking about? Oh, resolutions. And then the diet thing. Like, don't do it. Don't do the freaking diets.
Thing.
Please, people.
Hitting the gyms.
Just make a positive change. Add a vegetable. Drop a dairy. Add a vegetable.
I probably get back to my cousin, but he did add on. My student is 15. Said my aunt is stuck in her life and believes taking her year off from college was a bad thing that set her back. She doesn't like what she's doing in her life at the moment and believes that degree is what's gonna help. Thoughts that a degree in college. Sorry to step back. How did you deal with the friction from others who are against your decisions, especially ones closest to you? And then whoever this is it.
Well, confidence gives you a I don't give a shit attitude. Sorry, but it does.
Yeah, that's very true.
But when I was younger, I spent a lot of time. I was there, but that's just something that will take time. How do you deal with it? Well, you acknowledge it. Okay, you breathe it in, you breathe it out, but you acknowledge it, and you find a kind way to handle it. You know, don't be combative. Thank you for sharing how you feel. I'll try to implement that in my life, but I'm not sure where I'm at right now, and I have to find it my own way. Something like that.
So advice.
If that's possible.
Some advice I'd given him. So he's been perceived as like the good child, the oldest out of 3, and good grades, responsible-ish, and just been on top of that stuff. Mixed in with a lot of procrastination and not being confrontational because it's not worth the energy, and also just fear. So that kind of environment.
So maybe he needs a little more tough confidence.
And so after being in college for a semester, he hit me up and he was like, I don't even know why I'm in school, and I don't know what I want to do. And so we talked a little bit about that, and I was like, what I've been seeing as a pattern, I see this in trends with everyone. I'm like, I think the most important thing, or one of my favorite things to do, is if you're in a certain situation by repeating something, which is habitual, because it's like a religion. If you're oh, well, you've been going to school your whole life, for a majority of it, and maybe you should go on the other side. If you feel stuck, you look at what's the opposite of what you've been doing, and you just try it. And so I always say, there's no rush for you to hurry up and get a degree. I'm like, there are consequences for everything that you do, and I explained to him that...
will you lose a scholarship?
I didn't even think about that.
Yes.
So there are certain things like that where you think about those things, but I do believe in trying the opposite and giving yourself time to think and to try and feel yourself out.
How lucky we can.
Yeah, that's the thing too.
You know what I mean?
It's
what?
You can.
You can do that. And so it has to be his decision, right? You can't say, oh, Vatana told me to. But it has to be, that's good advice. And yeah, instead of being on that hamster wheel and
especially
getting depressed.
Yeah, basically. And feeling the way that you...
So think that out. Seriously, think that out. And play it out in your head for a week. And then take action. Stop talking about it and just do that.
Right now, it's he's in a gathering.
Finish,
phase,
Finish the semester or finish the class. So you don't lose the credits or the money, and then look forward to, okay, when this is over or next year, I'm going to take a break. That way, you're not losing money, you're not hurting anyone's feelings. You have time to process it, and you might change your mind by then. But make that goal and do it.
So they're on break now.
Yeah.
So he's in the middle of deciding.
Oh, okay.
Which is why I was like, oh, it's kind of a crucial time, and you have your experiences, and he's going around asking different people, and he has his insights from his family, which are on completely one side, and then I'm just whatever feels natural to you. But I know, just watching them grow up and stuff, I'm like, that's not natural to you. If you're as lost as you are, I'm like, we overemphasize certain things, and why are you rushing? It's and a lot of kids rush in because it's a cultural, as soon as I'm done high school, guess what I'm doing
next? Is it a more flexible degree he's going for?
I think it's a engineering thing.
Okay. Yeah, so.
I don't know. I'm more with the whole figuring out yourself. And like that's always more important because I'm like, do you want to continue losing your mind? Like it's not worth it if you just don't know.
And happiness is so important these days. I'm sorry, but it's just silly to if it's something's being miserable and you realize that there's people that don't have the opportunity to go to college and would give their right arm to do this, but as long as he understands that and he still feels that way, then feed your soul. If it were my kid, I would 100% support that. Of course, I'd be like, well, what are you going to do to support yourself and make money? But yeah, as long as they have a plan for a side hustle and you're still learning or trying to grow towards something, I support that 100%. I'm laughing because I can see Isaac now like, oh, I'm getting my Fortnite game up so I can... I'd have to support that. Is he a gamer?
He plays casually, yes. Okay. Give her okay, that's just like a random person. Give her a noogie for 11 seconds. I don't understand. My family makes it sound like this is a horrible decision. They believe I should at least take classes in college for business or marketing or sports, etc.
Yeah, I mean, most parents are going to think that's a horrible decision. Absolutely. But not most, no. Because I have some friends the same. They're like so glad when their kids say that and realize that because they didn't waste valuable resources, time, and money. And they're like, figure it out. So you just have to compassionately explain and have that, you know, talk to them. Yeah. You have to deal with it.
He said they had like a family talk, but like he didn't
express himself.
He didn't. So I was just like, it's rough.
Yeah.
So that's...
Because I know you're afraid to disappoint.
Yeah.
But guess what? You can't disappoint yourself.
Yeah.
Sorry, but when everyone's gone, it's just you left here. I know that's a little morbid, but...
I think about that too.
I would just hope my kids make decisions that make them happy first. As a parent, I would never want my kids to make a decision just to make me happy.
Yeah.
I mean, unless it's don't do drugs or don't. Right?
Yeah.
Little shirts. But yeah, I don't know.
But I would say that with you as a parent, and just again all the different stuff and the journeys, and there's so much to it. Like it's easier to say that when you had gone through certain things yourself, and then you're fulfilled. And I believe in that. Like when you are happy and you do a lot of introspective work,
more comes.
And then when the child, like that time, it's like you don't reflect your, what's the word? You don't reflect your lacking, like, or your fears, and you don't project necessarily. Maybe like worrisome, that's like one thing, but like you don't like because you didn't get something or you didn't achieve certain things or you feel not qualified or not good enough for something, you don't project that onto your kid.
Right.
And you don't also like, wow, look at Isaac, he's this, and like I'm so, but then when he's not something that, I don't know, like it's like being able to, it's this whole pride thing at the end of the day. And then it's like it's a safety thing. It's like you want your kids to do well, and the other half is like you want to look good.
So the whole pride thing, that's competitive. That's something I'm not interested in. I've never been, and it just depends if the parents. I get the pride and the fear and the worry, and I can just wholeheartedly say at the end of the day, happiness is so important. I mean, listen, I'd go live in a bus, and I would. I always say, if something happened and everything was taken away from me, I would be happy living in a bus, living in a, close to the beach, of course. But
so because you said that, I had this conversation with him. I talked about money, and I talked about being fulfilled internally and what we're being taught, right? We're taught to like a lot of this. And we don't even know why we're doing it. This is being taught. And we realize it doesn't fill anything, right? So I was telling him that the more you fill this in, it's kind of like your costs and your needs go down. Because when you're happy, whatever it is that you need to do in combination with what you need to have in order to be happy isn't all the things that we were
you're gonna have to keep doing this.
And so when he brought up, I need to have a certain type of job with this degree in order to sustain this, it's like, I think that's backwards because you don't even know what it is that you're into yet. And you can,
and that's just immaturity that will mature with time too. And especially when you so you take your break, and now what am I going to do to support myself? And so you become more humble,
yes.
and then you know, your experiences you'll mature through your experiences, because now your thinking will change.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's just something you really can't tell someone. They have to experience it. Yeah, I mean, but some people live beyond their means, and some people live within their means too. So
I just like that you said the bus thing. It's because you're happy and you know what you like, you know what you want.
Yeah.
Whereas a lot of people, they're always, and it's not a bad thing, but usually the behavior is like, I need all these things constantly, or they have bad tendencies of when something goes wrong, I'm gonna shop, or I'm gonna eat, I'm gonna indulge on this, or I'm gonna just, it's using their resources to spend on something, or versus always like having it internally being fulfilled, and you know how to bring it to yourself, even if you're living in a bus, because you're not, you've gone to your roots, and you're connected in all those things. So
I mean, I feel like most kids today, like what we're talking about, is probably a little deep.
Yeah.
Some kids get it. Some kids get it. Yeah. And I mean, most adults don't even get it.
Yeah.
So, and it's not, it's just kind of where you're drawn to, right? Yeah. Some people are drawn to materialistic things. I'm married to one. He just is. He feels good. And we fight about it all the time, but we just do, because I'm completely opposite. And I know people are like, oh, Joanne, you're I was a spoiled brat as a young kid, and I had to have a Louis Vuitton pocketbook and all that. But I treasured it. I valued it. I still have it. It was my graduation gift, you know? But then when I had to pay for things myself, materialistic things went right out the window.
Yeah.
You know, so every new purchase, or every time if we spend money, or like we get something, I always say to my husband, I'm like, that's fine. I know, because he always says, we worked hard, you deserve this, like a nice car or something. I mean, I love my Toyota Highlander. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I love it. I had a fight with him for that.
Really?
He wanted something fancy, and I'm like, I'm not driving that. That's embarrassing.
Yeah. You
have to park it so far and worry about somebody hitting it. Like, a car is transportation.
Yeah.
So these are my views.
Yeah,
I know
I
some people oh, the car is your status. You made it. Nope. My status is the vacation. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Those are my priorities. But whenever we do, get a purchase, and we just, sold our house, bought a new house. Whenever we do anything, I always say, but just remember, if this was all taken away from us tomorrow, we would be totally happy to live in a trailer. Like, so happy. I know I would. I can't make someone be that, but my kids growing up, we always talked about that. And I don't know how they'll be, but I can only just shape them as, from what I've learned. I was a spoiled, rotten brat. Yes, I was. I'm not denying that. I had to learn on my own. So I'm hoping by giving them a little bit of insight, they can be the adults they want to be. They can be the parents they want to be, and it will help them in some way. But I have fun with that idea. I'm embarrassed. So I'm friends. I'm on this group. Is it the Crunchy Moms group or Holistic Mamas? I love that group. And so they just made another group off of this, and it's called the Time Community. Something. It's off the grid, and it's for all like-minded people who want to live off the grid. And they talk about what your service, what can you bring if we did. And it's just a pipe dream, but they're like, the more people who talk about it, it's so fun.
They exist. I know.
There's people that want to buy an island and who are interested, like, and I'm like, when I'm scrolling through, and there's like 34,000 people in this group. It's a private group. And when you think, in my community of friends, my holistic views or my views, I know they're different from a lot of my friends, and I respect that. And my friends respect mine. I get that. But to like be with a group of people, not be with them, but connecting with them daily and seeing their posts, they're a lot crunchier than me. Like, I mean, of course, there's a lot crunchier people out there, but it's just so inspiring.
Yeah.
So it's fun and it's inspiring. So that's where I spend a lot of my time, dreaming about my off-the-grid island.
My friend wants to do something like that. Oh, Darcy.
Oh, yes. I knew we had something in common.
Angel has a concept for, like, owning a large space, not just like a business, but like maybe like a what is it called? I forget what they're called. There's a name for it, but it's kind of like rescue, like a safe space for people so that they can do their thing and heal up in like the most proper environment and live there. Like
that was a dream of mine at one point.
Yo, he's
awesome.
The dude is global. He's so ambitious.
I love. I'm friends with him on Facebook. We're friends now. Hi, Angel.
That's what's up.
We're friends.
So we're gonna start. Actually, I'm gonna double check. It's almost 10:30, but start wrapping.
Okay.
But just last few. So I'll go with this, and then we'll finish off on a light dance note. So I feel like this decision will cause a lot of friction. Although I'm happy with this decision, I anticipate being kicked out or lots of lectures and a different vibe from my household towards me. Facts. Should I worry? Should I continue exploring and trying new things during this vibe or change? And I always say to people that like, there's so many things that I say, but one of the main things is that like change and healing and being authentic to yourself is really hard. When you're not doing that, and most of us don't start doing that from the beginning, unless we get really fortunate. We have parents that just know that and then try and raise their kids that way, and I've seen that. But
I feel the price is really high. Like, what are some books to help support that?
See, I don't read enough, so I always push influencers and real real people as
Back
possible.
In the day, we read books,
So now I'm trying to get like my book reading on right now.
How you doing with the PH?
Yeah, because I know even this is helpful.
Yeah.
Like,
of course, This is just like real life people experiences. Then it's so scary because it's like, oh my gosh, I can't give advice like that. Your parents are gonna hate me.
So that's.
But it's just one perspective, one take. But like you said, this is what people do. They watch this instead of reading, right?
Yeah. At least I'm one of those kids.
Yeah, some people.
A lot of people. Yeah. So like, if I had the chance to connect to someone who sees me in some way, and then I'm able to use my platform to shed light and bring perspective into their life and to give them confidence in their decisions. Because I know that being around the noise, the influencers and stuff, helped shape who I wanted to be. And so just being able to hear certain things, and not necessarily hearing what he wants, but hearing people's personal stories. Yeah. And then based off of your wisdom and your experiences, what can you share about, and we've already have, just like what happened for you, but then also the possibilities. I like to share both. So like the possibilities of like, it's good that he's anticipating like, oh, I can get kicked out. And I talked to him about being like, if you don't want to feel all certain things, I'm like, being financially independent is another big one. That it's either you're going to be forced into that situation, or you're going to get fed up and you realize I need financial independence because they're going to keep hovering. Yeah. And like until you do something. And we come from a family where it's like do, like the parents like, oh, I do this for you, and then I'm sure right. So I do this for you. It's like, well, I don't need a lot. I don't need what you think I need. Right. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy my own stuff, and you don't need to do anything. I'm just gonna take care of my stuff, and you can do your thing. I don't need you to stress about me, and like, and I empathize with that, and I don't bash parents for that, and because I know they're gonna watch this. Yeah. I really respect that, and we all come from different places. It just comes down to just like, oh my god, I'm not even gonna get there.
Yeah, it's hard.
There's so many different pieces to that.
I know, because you want better for them, and especially if they come from a place where they struggled and not as many opportunities, so they want these kids to take advantage of the opportunities. Yes, absolutely. So that's just a tough one, and I get too. A lot of this generation is like, oh, I'm gonna follow my soul when.
It's hard because these kids that I know don't. Yeah. They don't know what they're doing. But at least any kids that I've been exposed to, they're either too scared because they've already been told it's not going to happen, or they're completely lost. There is no, I'm afraid to follow my heart in the sense of like, I know what I want to do. There's no confidence in it. And so I've tried to know how to reverse. So it's like, oh, like you're not going to, like if you say, for example, like, oh, I want to dance for a living. Now, anyone who comes up in a studio or is exposed to that culture, they'll know more than their parents. Like, oh, so like I can teach. That's an avenue. And then there's someone like me who comes along and I want to learn lots of things. And I'm like, you can teach, you can do this, you do that. With just that one job, if you know how to scale, you can do this. So when you start giving exposures to information like that, you help build confidence. It's like, if I can learn this and this and this and that, you gain more confidence in all these skills, and I can support this thing that I want. When I noticed that when I start giving people that kind of information, they're like, oh, because before it's like if you go to school, and you get this degree, you're gonna get this job. Not true,
right?
But we've been marketed to that's just it sounds simple.
Yep.
It's like it's all or nothing. You get it, you're done. But this is like when it's not that, you just don't know, you know. And so, what was he saying? Compromise and vibe change, all that stuff. The lack of confidence thing. I just think the more information you know, like it's whether it's about yourself, or about the technicalities of how to. So he was talking like, okay, a good example was he was like, oh, I want to do like my own like clothing line one day. Everyone has that kind of dream. Like it's kind of like whatever. But I'm gonna need some money. Then I was like, there's something called print on demand. If you want to practice, if you want to get started, or you could do a crowdfunding campaign, or there's a concept of like do pre-orders and do like rounds and then see if you can get so then there's zero cost up front, but like people don't know that, but then when you teach them or expose them to the information,
and they have to want to look into it enough to do that,
and then it gives them a little more confidence, and like, maybe this is possible, and why did I doubt it in the first place? Because you don't know anything. You know, all you know is what you're being told,
right?
But if I can be like the whisperer of like,
I know, well, I think it's good. I think you're doing the good thing by giving them those options, you know, trying to help them find their own confidence too.
Yes.
Like you're not saying no, you're saying yes, but here's some avenues to do it. So, and even like, you know, we talk so easily about confidence, and then I look at a sea of like 9 to 12-year-olds. It's so crucial, right? And they're fighting these battles in school. They're fighting these confidence battles.
Yes.
And it freaks me out because I don't know how to put it in them, but I just hope by the exposure and sharing some of my stories and well, look at her. She's, you know, an old lady, and she thinks she got it. Well, yeah, guess what? I do. But no, it worries me too, and I hope for the best and keep filling their heads with positivity, and they have to practice it themselves too. Like we talked about positive affirmations, and you know, some of the kids do it. Some of the kids tell me like, Miss Jo, I did this and it really worked, and I love that. And the parents instill it at home too a little bit, so that's good. But the confidence thing is it's a practice.
Yes.
It's just a practice.
It takes time.
Yeah. Knowing your value, knowing your self-worth.
A lot of people don't know those two things. Those two things are very uncommon.
Yeah, their value.
I'm sure you're aware of these things too.
Yeah.
So I just
I see it in my you know, I have a shy teenager, you know, and like we'll smack her butt and be like, own that thing, you know, and she's like, Mom, cut it out. She's so gorgeous, and you can just see she lacks self-esteem, and it'll come, and then I'm like, I'm almost glad. Okay, we'll save it till a little bit later. But yeah, they have to learn. They have to learn for themselves. No one can teach them. We can only expose it around them, create the environment, and hope for the best.
I agree. So I'm gonna get back to. So I have always wanted to try competing for dance. What are your opinions on dance competitions? My current dance studio doesn't do it. I think it would be fun. I know why she doesn't do it, but I mean, I don't know if that's relevant, but you can just go off that.
Okay, so it's tough because I was late to the party. We did not. I wasn't a believer in competition for a long time.
Okay.
I just wasn't.
Okay.
Because it changes things.
Yeah.
So I totally see both sides.
Okay.
But it's tough, and I got to the situation I got to the point as a studio where we had a lot of kids that wanted to compete, even though I didn't want to, and because the kids like that test, they like that, and even though I don't like it, it opened a whole new can of worms of opportunities and disappointments.
Yeah.
So, okay, we're going to do this. And we talk about, you know, we have to try out for it because now it's a competitive level. And we have different levels of competition, of competitiveness too. So that's okay. But the kids love the camaraderie of it and the sportsmanship, the teamwork of it. But then there's a big percentage who I don't want to say don't like it, but I see they're disappointed more than satisfied, if that makes sense. We do not place high value on the competition or on the awards. It's just it's another piece of, it's just another outlet for them to work towards. It's just it's to reach goals and reach accomplishments, because there's certain criteria for an age and level. So it does keep goals in check. So I like it, and then I don't like it. I just don't like when it brings disappointment, and when kids have these high expectations and they're like, oh, we should have got this, we should have got that. And I've never felt that way. They judge. They always say, this is no reflection of you as a dancer. It's just how the judges feel about a particular routine on this given day. Yeah. And they say that at every competition, at every award ceremony. So it's fun. It does help set goals, and you learn from it. Whether you have a positive experience or a negative experience, that's life. Guess what? You have positive and negative experiences. You don't run from it. Yeah. So I like it in that sense. It's another opportunity to learn. So I don't know. What do I say? Well, I guess I don't know why they don't do it, but I guess if enough kids ask, even if just like one small group could participate in a competition, that might be because I started with one group. Yeah. So that's what I did. I didn't want it to change the studio. I never wanted our studio to be about competition. You will not see trophies glorified in our studio. It's just something I don't like. We don't do that. I don't like it. But it shouldn't change. You shouldn't feel different if you're in company class or a rec class. You should be like, oh, they don't pay attention to us. That's a lot of complaints that, can happen. And so that was always important to me. But we just started with one. And we don't make a big deal of it, but those kids work really hard, and they take the required classes, and they deserve the accolades that they get. So I like that. They're committed. They work hard. They build this team. And the only difference is with the other classes, they're still part of a team. They're committed. They do their year-end recital. So they just have that one end goal instead of the competition. We do the two. Okay, so that's pretty crazy though. Like, we started with just the one, and now we have 7 competing teams. And we still have the other half of our studio is non-competitive, and some of them are just as good, if not better, but that's just not what they choose. They don't want to commit to the other classes, and so it's good. It works for us. Yeah, it works. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so I like it and I hate it. Okay. And I was late to the party. I had my heels. I did not want to compete for a long time. So maybe the director would, if enough kids wanted it, maybe the director would be open to starting with a small group.
Yeah, I would talk to her about that. I mean, I could run it by her too. We did talk about it once, and I was like, "Oh, do you compete? Because I'm not sure if you're doing." She's like, "No," and she has certain reasons. We didn't get down into detail about it. It just stems from what competition, what it does, and her vibe's been it's great. That's why I work there too. Yeah. So it's always been and the kids love it, and you know what I mean, and competition could change certain things. Yeah. And so she feels.
And then that maybe dance shouldn't be competitive. You're following your passion and your art. Well, it's funny because I practice Bikram yoga. Yeah. And so yoga should never be competitive, right? But when we found out there's yoga competition. Really? Yes, and they've been around forever. But it was just funny. My whole group, when they were coming around, they're like, "Oh, you should do the competition. You should do that." And we were all like, "What?" A lot of my friends did it, and it was great because it built so much self-confidence. Every one of them, if you ask them, they're so glad they did it. Built so much confidence in themselves. They did something they thought they would never do, and they were awesome at it. And you're not competing against each other. You're competing for yourself, for points. So it's a point-based system. So I've never done it because I'm too competitive, and every time I train hard, I hurt myself. So I didn't. They were like, "Joanne, you should do it." But so yeah, different perspectives. I mean. Yeah. But it's hard in the dance world today in a I don't want to say competitive studio, but there's so many studios and the kids want it. Yeah. But you have to have a committed team, and you have to be committed. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. The tough thing. That was hard for me because there's so many kids like, "Oh, I want to compete. And it's like, but you did ballet 5 years ago is different from having ballet training now. And they're like, "Oh, well, I just did ballet, why can't I compete? And it's like you need to work up to, it's usually based on technique, putting them in levels and all that, and that's the worst part of the job. I get it. But they usually see themselves, like when they're super challenged and they're like, oh, okay, because I don't want to cheat anybody. Just because you want to be at that level, I'm not going to cheat you out of the skills that you need. You're not going to move on from here and say, oh, I did competition, and they look at you and you can't even do a pirouette. So the skills are important, and you know, it's a tough job, but we are fair and honest with all of our students, and I think our kids know that.
That's very
but
true.
It's tough as a director to start that. It's tough.
Maybe just I would just say bring it up to her and just run your thoughts and ask her questions. Someone said, or Carla, she's upstairs, a lot of it is patience. My parents still, so bringing back to the college thing, my parents still make me feel bad for my decision in leaving school, but I understand where they come from. Little by little, we begin to understand each other. It won't be easy at first, but you are going to feel so much better doing what you truly want to do for yourself, not for your family.
That's nice. That's good.
Good luck to me, Woo. Oh, my cousin bounced, I think, but it's funny. Facebook. She asked if you love Home Goods, Lisa. That was a while ago.
Of course I do. Home Goods is my jam.
Oh no, okay.
I like Home Goods.
It's still here. You know what's funny? I'm just gonna say it, even though they don't know. So, that's my cousin, and that's his dad.
The dad. What do you say?
No, he's cool though. Like, there's different viewpoints, but I really respect him. A lot. He actually has done like social work, psychology, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, cool.
So he's a really good person.
Yeah.
But he's here.
But that's cool for me. Remember, I was just the social media. I was just against. I don't want to say against it, but I just didn't want to accept it.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad that you opened up my world to it, or at least my tolerance for it, or the realization that you if you want to know, you need to know. So as a parent, to be able to see kids calling in this sort of platform, and even though it's family, but that they value the realness and the experiences and the advice, and just a platform to share. It's nice.
My mom used to tell me, because I was so heavy on like trying to help her and like trying to do stuff for myself, and she'd always be like, all those like those YouTube things, like it's like brainwashing you and stuff. I'm like, no, like I'm taking an initiative to be better. I'm trying to change. I'm trying to do things for myself, and I'm also trying to bring information home. Like she's at a point where it's like, I only believe the news, the TV, and doctors, like that kind of stuff.
She does.
Like at that point.
Oh
It's a different game. She don't watch the news anymore. And she doesn't take their word for what it is, right?
Because you showed her
so
that.
I'm like every day, and it's not just talk about it, it's be about it, right? So when I'm committed, like my favorite thing was when I told everyone like, oh, like I'm gonna go vegan one day, but I am definitely like cutting out meat, whatever. Nobody thought I could stick to it or do it. Just things like because no one understands my intent. But when I stay committed, even in the household, my mom or my parents make food, and I'm just like, I'm not eating it. Like I'll figure it out. I'm just not eating it. That's the whole like dependent, like, and then that's when they know I'm serious, and I'm like, this is what happens when you do certain things. But all that just kind of takes time.
That's cool.
That was a little quote.
I know, and Alex loves the news, and he watches the news, and then he'll leave and go to the gym, and I'm like, shut that box off. I hate it.
It's crazy.
I hate it.
But my mom doesn't see it as bad anymore. So, and I always try to show her different stuff, from everything from like people singing that she never heard of. It's like, oh, who is that? How come they're not whatever? And I'm like, it's the internet. It's different. It's a different game. Or like if I'm hitting different news sources, or like I remember showing her like a holistic health nutrition expert, right? Like huge. Sean Stevenson, like my favorite dude, and he was talking about sleep, and he was talking about like, when you're sleep deprived, one night of sleep deprivation makes you just as insulin resistant as a type 2 diabetic. And she was like, what? No way. And then I was just like, so she's still kind of like, really? How does that make any sense?
Right.
I'm like, you just don't know. You haven't pieced it for yourself.
No, you're not going to find that on the mainstream news.
But she's not like anti, so she's wicked open. But it took time.
Awesome.
Everything just took time.
That's my mom's like that too. She's so open now. It's so funny. Joanne, did you know? I'm like, yeah, I told you that.
My mom does that too.
She had videos, you know. It's like there's a few people, she'll watch their videos and she'll talk about the same video over and over. And I'm like, I know, Mom. But it's awesome that she is open to holistic views too.
Yeah. A different cousin had said, my favorite quote ever, not everyone will understand your journey, that's okay. You're here to live your life, not make everyone understand. I mentioned that to people too. Sometimes some people are just not at a stage in their life where they can articulate or explain well at all. And especially if the other person on the other side is already convinced. It's not that they're not open to taking in new information. It's just whenever they face someone on the opposite side, they don't come strong with. Yeah. And if they do, they're like, oh, that's 1 in a million.
Yeah.
My mom always used to say that, and I'm like, Mom, that's not how the world works anymore. I'm like, the game is different. I'm like, you're not paying attention to, like, when internet came along, I always talk to people, and I give them, like, clear examples. I'm like, there was a power shift. I don't know if you guys noticed, but money shifted down they were in certain classes, but what happened was with the internet is now the place where everyone can compete. And so the old people and the old industries are like, and we've already seen it with Best Buy and with Toys R Us and with filing, like all those places, it's competition. It's like, and it's being eaten up by small people and also new big boys in the game. And I'm like, listen, like the music game has changed, and I try to paint the picture for people. So I'm like, the way we don't go to the movies like that anymore. Like these places aren't gonna last if their business models don't change. And I bring that example even over to college, and it's because I understand. I'm like, it hasn't been around forever. It's been around for a bit.
But it's going in that direction.
It's the same thing because it has competition, and people who are more innovative are bringing you the same information cheaper or for free. So, and there's a lot of paradigm shifts happening that people either choose to ignore or don't understand how big of the cultural shift has been. And so when I help them see these different things, it's very important.
I think you want to say that.
Oh, how are you getting home?
Uber.
Okay.
Peace out.
Bye.
See you.
Bye. Have a good dream.
Thanks.
Why does that person keep saying that? Give her a noogie. Why would I do that?
What'd it say?
Give you a noogie for 11 seconds. I've never given anyone a noogie in my life.
Like a noogie? Like
yeah, that used to happen to me all the time.
Well, people used to give you a noogie?
When I was a kid.
Yeah.
Like with like my family.
So did I say something you didn't like, so you said give her a noogie?
No, some people are just like random, like they'll pop in that I don't know. And they're like trolls or just like he said this like 3 times, I don't know why.
You're a noogie.
Monica, my other cousin's in here. Well, she said that. Wait, Monica, and the cousin. Follow your intuition. Your family will understand if they see results and that you're serious. Very true. A lot of people, I was going to say, like, you don't need to explain yourself. Right. You just got to show it. Yeah. Conviction in what you do is the most important thing. And that is more important than just saying all these things. Right. Because they don't care until they start seeing stuff and that you start taking responsibility for yourselves and you check certain boxes of being mature and adult and all that kind of stuff. And
for me, on the opposite, when I said, well, I really want to go to school, I went to school, and I would come home, I would study, and I would do all this, and like I remember in algebra class, the problem would take me an hour and to check it, and I would get it right, and I would be like freaking out, having a party, you know, like I was doing the work. I was home doing the work, and it made me happy. And they're like, "She likes school." I didn't like school ever, and then I liked college. So that I'm the opposite.
But so you were on a mission though.
Yes.
But you didn't were just like going through the school system when you're in high school.
Yeah.
Right. But then when you're kind of in a different
school is
position.
just fun for me.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, we never.
I was just going through the
system.
So
back when we were kids, I mean, at least my family. Well, because I danced so much, my mom would say, "Joanne, just please graduate." My mom would do my homework for me because I would be at the studio, and you know, if it was spelling and little stuff, okay. I remember she'd be like, "I'm doing a freaking homework." I mean, yeah. So I was completely opposite. I didn't have parents who put high value on education, which is maybe that's why we were so lucky to. And that's why my students, when they're like, "Oh, I want to open a studio someday," I'm like, well, it's a totally different ball game. Yeah. Because we didn't have the competition there is now. Yep. And why, why are you so successful? Well, now we have all this experience. You can't compete with that because people, boast about their degrees and their psychology degrees, and they have a dance studio. It's like, good for you, but do you have any experience?
Yeah.
So it's different. It's different. And so it's tough for me when kids say like, I want to own a studio someday. And I'm like, follow that dream and keep working to be your own boss, or be, it might vary, it might be different, but get the experience, stick it out, put the time and the commitment. There's so many avenues and the characters that they, the skills they develop through the character of a dancer can take you so many places, and that all goes with confidence. It just does.
Absolutely, I agree.
Plug.
But it's
Come
true.
to play a dance. No, just kidding.
I mean, you could. People, when I'm like, hey, blast all your stuff, do that. But I don't get results. So my older cousin, she's been like rapidly transforming in recent times and growing more into her own skin and doing the opposite of who she was, kind of. And I really appreciate that because she's always been someone who has been always taken advantage of emotionally and time-wise because of the expectations put on her, but then also because of her nature. So she's a giver and loves to give to people, loves kids, all that kind of stuff. So people can definitely take advantage of that within the family. Never had the skin to tough out and stand by her personal intuitive decisions. It's like, oh, that makes them upset. I'm just not gonna. It's not worth it. I love you, Jesse. But now she's becoming different, you know, and she's understanding what it really takes to go after what she wants. And she was like, oh, I'm gonna go to. She took, I think, 5 years to finish community college, and then was going back and forth trying to figure out what she wants to do and had plans. And now that's gone, and now she has something new. And it's like that's part of the process and dealing with all the emotions and stuff that she's going through. And so she's giving advice to my younger cousin, who's done a semester of college, and it's just the whole, follow your intuition.
Yeah, that's cool.
Your family will understand.
It's good to have someone that
did
that and is succeeding. And all right, what is success? Okay.
Whatever you want it.
And so they have the pressure of success, degree, job, money. And I mean, you're talking to somebody who success to me is finding your niche, doing what you love, liking yourself.
Yeah, that's a big one.
But I know I'm trying to, because you and I can get super deep, but I want to connect. Like I want my kids to know that, and when I say kids, my students, it's just like yourself, be nice.
It's hard. It's a really hard process.
I was a mean girl.
That's so funny.
Not really mean. I was a brat. I still am. A little bit.
But a different kind. A different kind. But like one that people can respect.
Yeah.
Okay, so he said,
I'm a brat because I'm going to tell you like it is.
But right now I don't get results or a foundation to support my decision. This is the younger cousin. How am I supposed to explain this break to my family?
Well, the advice above saying, it's you're going to feel sad because you're going to disappoint them a little bit, but if you don't take that chance. So, I mean, you're pulling from an experience that happened to one person, and it's not, and like, that's good, keep pulling in experiences. If that's something you feel like you want to keep doing, you can mix that in with doing, like, taking a break is not going to ruin your life. Like, I think there's the thing with the whole, like, don't rush it if you don't have to. When you, in the grand scheme of things, you don't have to rush or do anything. Right. That's what I look at, right? It's like, you're not going to die. You're not going to be poor. You're not going to not have kids if you want to have kids. But stay focused. Yes. Have a plan. Yes. And so he doesn't know, right? Yeah. So, but he's in a place where it's like, there's so many that plan could be things. Just, just like basic, like, kind of structural, like, okay. But you learn about yourself, learn about, take some time to go outside of the box, Yes. And like you said, your cousin did. She's going back to who she was. Well, there's one I even talk about in 2005 and like so many things, because I used to journal. I mean, journal is a simple thing, right? For people to do instead of watching. Oh, take the time and just journal and say like, okay, today my hopes and aspirations are blah, 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 blah. And then when you go back to that, it's so cool because you always will go back to that. It might vary a little bit, but when you just take a little quiet time and journal. I was going to say, like, sometimes I get away from the whole, I don't know, just my focus is at different places sometimes. Like, I'm not always balanced.
I totally understand.
But when I think about, because we were talking about paint in the studio, and I'm like, oh, I don't want to take those words off. And I'm like, I can't believe those have been up there since 2005, and I still stand by it.
Yeah,
you know, like, be
amazing.
the change you want to be. Like, it just shocks me because I go away from that, and I'm like, oh yeah, so that's where the journaling comes in. When you pick up a paper from a couple years ago, or if it's a couple weeks ago, you have a notebook, and it just you learn about yourself.
Yeah,
you do.
You really do.
And it's not somebody telling you, be this, do this. It's your thoughts. It's your mind. You're getting, you're just learning about yourself. And I think for young kids, we did it. I told you when we did that exercise, you inspired me.
Oh.
The first week of dance, and we did it with the teens. And it was so fun because I'm like, oh, you guys probably hate me. I'm being so annoying. Like, I always think that because it's hard to connect on their level sometimes. And it was, I told you, we had so much fun. It was just fun because they probably haven't, it was just a few questions, asking them about themselves, like their fears and but it was more of a positive spin about like, what would you change if you could, or, what do you look forward to? And I can't remember, but they really liked it. And they were being truthful, I think. But they opened up a little bit.
Helps.
Oh, and we were gonna read them anonymously, and they wanted to read them themselves. So that was just
good.
so connecting.
Yeah.
And then from that, a couple of the girls were like, "Oh, I used to feel like that," or "Oh, I did this and it worked," and I was crying. I was like, "I love you guys even more."
Yeah.
So we need to do that again.
That's beautiful.
That was fun. And Kat does a lot with that with them too, the psychology.
Yeah.
But it's just not dance. It's so many other things. I mean, we have a platform that we can truly connect with, whether we're right some days or wrong some days, because I'm not perfect. Nobody is. But if it's coming from a loving place, I think the kids know that. Yeah. And the parents know that too. So I feel lucky. I feel so lucky. So cool. And I feel lucky that I was able to find myself and success. What makes me happy, But during the struggle before this, I always had a good attitude, and I found happiness in the crappy stuff too.
That's
So
really good. Yeah.
There's a couple of books I read in high school and right out of high school, and I thought I was just thankful that those books were handed to me, and back then we read books a ton.
School made me hate books.
I bet. I could only read what I wanted to read.
Yeah, I actually read like some of one series. That was probably about it.
But I think out of high school, I was on a huge self-help kick. But I just loved it.
That's
I loved
so cool.
it. You don't learn that in school. You don't learn that, take care of yourself and, be true to yourself and do what feels good for you and all that psychological and emotional and spiritual. So that's why I think that whole department is so huge because, I don't know if it's taught in school nowadays, but that's why I teach it at home.
Health, a little bit.
Yeah.
I have a few pointers from health, but that's about it. Yeah. That was like
probably
one class.
Nowadays the mental health is more talked about, but
I think it's a little easier.
So that's my advice.
That's good advice. I appreciate it.
Get on the self-help train.
He's working on it. I'm passing him some books too. I'm just gonna continue. We're almost at 11. So.
Okay. Oh my gosh, really?
Yeah.
I was a little late, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're okay though. I hope.
I'm okay.
Okay. So older cousin says, I get
Don't
it.
expect much from me tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding.
I'm gonna wake up and start choreographing and working on.
And I need to know about
certain things.
Costumes.
Oh yeah.
Tomorrow.
I get it. Trust me, I'm almost 25 and I'm finally getting to where I want to go because I'm blocking out the negative energy and gaining my confidence and believing in my decisions. It's a huge step for me because I was such a people pleaser. I was talking about it. I did everything for the family. I put their happiness and their opinions above my own, and it was eating me alive. Now I said, fuck it, I need to do what makes me happy. They still talk shit, but it's worth
they'll always
your
talk
own
shit. You gotta
happiness
learn
and
to
sanity.
take it as a compliment. When people are talking about you, that's a compliment. I love it.
See, that's a good spin.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I thrive on that now. Seriously. But it took me a long time. I'm older than you, and it took me a long time to appreciate that. Because if they're talking about you, you're doing something right.
Yeah. I love that saying. I don't have a plan right now.
Let's give them something to talk about.
I know that song.
You don't know that song?
No, I do.
Oh, okay.
I do. So yeah, I know she said plan like 10 minutes ago, but plan as in just like not necessarily like from A to B and accomplishments on like a crazy level, but more of just like just not, I guess, completely falling out in a sense of like being hopeless or not having any sense of direction. But when you're working on yourself, that is always something.
You'll find the way too.
Yeah, you'll start finding it. And so I told him
be open.
Yeah. This is the most open he's been.
Yeah.
I know him, and like
that's awesome.
But he also felt like he was someone that was never gonna hit this point. And I would say as a cousin, I wouldn't say like I have my views, and I'm very practical. People think I'm like anti. I'm like I'm practical. I'm only anti when it's a fact. If I'm like this is better than this, and that's just a fact because this is good for you and this is not. But for me, it's like I'll ask like, well, what are you going for and why? What is your drive? And if it doesn't make sense, why?
But you ask questions that kids are ready to jump without asking them themselves those same questions. Like even I always say to you, like, oh, when you ask me questions, like I'm always fast. I don't slow down. So you've helped me even slow down because your practical ways. A lot of people are, jumping ship without giving it thought. So he's running away with his thoughts instead of, slow down. Do I know myself? Do I know where I want to go? And you don't have to have a huge plan, but just ask yourself a couple of questions. Yeah. Why? How? Some options. Have some options there. Have some flexibility. But I think that's important.
Yeah. And so this is the most open. But that's because of the friction of like, or the weight has finally kind of come down. And so it's like, I need help. Please, like, give me something. And it's like, okay, I've always said I would be here.
That's awesome.
I'm just going to try some new things and think throughout this break and also strengthen myself physically and hopefully mentally. Past them books and knowledge, I'll give you some stuff that I have that I actually got from you. And I have... that's all that. That's the stuff that all those things I plan to read.
Oh my gosh! So I gave you all the nutritional stuff. I have
like the self-help. Okay.
From yoga.
Okay.
There's not just from yoga, but from my yoga training. There's that whole section. But I'll look and see what I have to pass on. Okay,
that'll be nice. Says I love you, Peter. When you start loving yourself, and everything else falls into place naturally. Yes.
So true.
I love you too.
Amen.
Hopefully this break will help. Okay. I believe it will. I'm convinced.
Yeah. Keep me posted.
Yeah. He kind of dances a little bit.
Well, I feel like who did I learn? I spoke to somebody and he was making a bunch of changes.
Kevin? Was it the one that randomly in the office? And I was like, I'll come through real quick. Yeah.
How's he doing?
Always.
Yeah. Okay.
But the great thing is like
he's changing.
He knows it's happening. Yeah. And if he's in that spot, he has the resources to be like, a phone call, surrounded by positive information. And I'm like, I'm so happy because it's like, you're doing it. Yeah. And you don't think it's just going to be like, am I doing this all for nothing? Like, sure, you'll have those thoughts, but like in the back of his mind, he knows that he's doing the right thing. Yeah. Good even though it's really hard. I bet. So he's just like this. It's great.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah. That's good.
It says, I took a semester off too, but now I'm taking a longer break. I'm very lucky to have the job that I have that allows flexibility. Now I'm going to massage school and getting into Reiki. Ooh. Those two things are new that she mentioned to me. I was like,
that's awesome. That's so many doors can open with that too. Yeah. Maybe I'll see you there.
See, I was talking to her. I was like, yo, Monica, I was like, you need to meet my director. And I was like,
yeah, we didn't even talk about that whole, venue I want to scrape the surface of too. But Yeah.
Next
We
time
didn't even
come.
talk health or wellness, and
we didn't.
That's another whole topic, and I think I've gained so much confidence with that too. Again, in 2005, I went on the whole holistic. I did a whole healing process. So, but that's a long story. So
yeah, I was gonna podcast that one.
That I've gained so much confidence because people are like, well, how do you know this? I experienced it. So it's not like, oh, I read a book and I heard this is good for you. I lived that. So, so venturing out something out of your comfort zone and experiencing it and trying it. And when it works, or if it fails and then you try this and then it works, so that builds confidence in other areas too. So yeah, we'll do a whole talk about that.
Okay, we're just gonna. So my other person for 11 is here, so we'll just wrap. So if you guys have any final words, you guys are definitely gonna meet. At least, you guys are all gonna meet at some point. My cousin, because she's getting really serious about all that, like holistic health stuff, and I remember telling her, I was like, because she was on the traditional path, and I was like, this is what you should do. I'm gonna give you some street smarts. And so the street smarts is just basically having integrity. Use the confidence, even if it's non-existent, having courage. I always say, if you don't have confidence, deploy courage.
Yeah.
You're scared, you just go. And then I gave him some like basic strategies. I was like, I always try to remind people, and this is a very just a good general tip, that like at the end of the day, besides the labels and the professionalism and the jobs and stuff, like at the end of the day, people are people. And if you can tap into that with someone, I'm like, that's it. That's all it takes, truly.
Right.
So I was telling her, I was like, hey, if you're truly interested in like holistic medicine and all this kind of stuff, I was like, if I were you, I'm not you, but what I would do is I would look up all the places in your area that you are and you want to learn. I'm like, I don't know if you want to maybe like be like, hey, I'll work for free and I'm going to do this, I'm going to volunteer, or I'm going to send out resumes, make calls, or like, can I shadow you? Can I just get involved, go talk to people, and you'll find your way. And at that moment, she didn't do it right away, but she hit me up when she did. She had to go through something pivotal before she made that decision. She did, and then all these opportunities started flying, and I was like, you see, I'm like, this is the other way that we're not necessarily taught, and now that she's kind of like taking those steps, she's here with the whole massage thing.
Yeah, that's
like,
so cool.
It's really
and
cool
now,
stuff.
does she do yoga? Because that whole yoga community is just filled with massage therapists and Reiki. And
do you do yoga? She says, I do both. I do work as medical assistant in pediatrics, but I want to go through the holistic route. Doing both is cool. I learned from both worlds.
Ooh,
that's really
nice.
tight.
Oh, yeah, we can go another whole topic of that if she works in the traditional.
Oh, wait, because my cousin... Wait, what? What? I missed a lot. But scared. Ooh, give me one. My back hurts. Okay, tune in on my YouTube channel. Hopefully. Oh, okay, 2019 first video posted. Lol. I would love. LOL. Got any mentorship or internships? By the way, are you asking Monica? I want to. By the way. Yeah. I also volunteer at a clinic. Alternative medicine. Dope. Yes, I do. Huh. I love yoga.
Okay.
Cool. Do you have any final things you want to relate? I mean, me bringing you here is just like me just trying to put you on too. She's great. She's right in Lowell. So I'm like,
well, good luck with everything. And no, definitely that's a whole huge world to explore. And there's so many, well, for me, like, so I love my Facebook pages too.
Yeah.
My holistic mamas. I mean, just any question people ask about, hey, so I'm self-taught. I mean, most people on the holistic journey, they are, and I've heard this works, or I've read this works, or I know this works, but they'll post and they say, hey, has anybody experienced this? Have they tried this? And there's the all right, now I'm tired. This is what happened. Okay, now my body's sleeping. But they'll post links and a lot of different options, and it's good. But just like the making of the elderberry syrup and all the other options too. Like I posted a video for my friends, a private video. That's why I made that page, to just show how to do it. But there's just so many alternative options to do for preventative health, and and having the guts to trust it and believe it, and then when you know that it works through experience, it's awesome. So yeah, no, enjoy that journey.
Peter said I want to try yoga. Do it up. There's plenty of.
Well, I was supposed to have a class tonight.
Oh.
I just do pop-up classes at my studio. I don't hold them regularly.
Yeah.
But yeah, like aromatherapy and yoga and maybe so I'll probably be having pop-up classes here and there, but there's so many places to go.
So I mean, as long as when you're in touch with me, you're in touch with everybody. But it's the Instagram. I've been blasting her Instagram more. It's just, this is it. Just say hello at Planet Dance 210. Whether it's books, information, whatever, because she's cool. I learned yoga through YouTube and Instagram. LOL. Monica, do you have to be a mom to be part of Holistic Mamas? Oh, she wants to be in the group.
Oh, Holistic Mamas. Oh, there's so many.
I'm in it. I'm not a mom. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, if you're soon to be a mom, I think it'd be very interesting to be in it.
Yeah.
There's so many. That's just one off the top of my head. Holistic. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think. There's.
Wait, is it really?
What is that one called? Holistic Mamas? Is that what I said? Holistic Mamas or Crunchy Mamas? I love the Crunchy.
Oh yeah.
Holistic health, like how to heal your body is actually a great one too. They're all holistic. I could be wrong, but they're like that. There's I'll have to get back to you on that.
Just add her on stuff. That's her stuff. Her name. Oh, I spelled that wrong. I hate when I do that.
Yeah, Idarraga, 1G. 2 R's, 1G.
I always do that. Back and forth. All right, my dad is waiting to get ready. Have fun. Enjoy yourself.
Thanks, guys.
And make it work. Stay true to yourself. Yeah, just hit her up.
Learn about yourself. Know yourself. Listen to your body. I always say that.
Kylie Lambert, love you and miss you, Joe.
Aw. I just ran into her mama.
Yeah,
Are these people, is this still live?
Yeah, so Facebook was on this side. Just getting like lots of hellos, and then over here is more.
And this Twitch?
Going in depth, yeah. So
Isaac's on Twitch.
Yes, it's huge. Huge.
Can you tell if he's on or no?
If I'm his friend
Better
or
be
if
sleeping.
I follow him.
I think he follows you.
Yeah, he does. So I'd have to check. But yeah, so we're gonna end. You said fun. Yeah, because life is fun and the struggles are fun. Okay.
Bye, baby.
Bye.
Peace out. That's delayed, huh?
Yeah, it is. It's gonna always be kind of delayed. Okay. That's done.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah. See, it was very nice.